Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can I get a roll call, please? Supervisor Bostrom is excused, and I know that Supervisor Holman is downstairs. Should be with us shortly. Have we heard from Supervisor Poole?
No.
Okay. He's out of the country. Okay. Good. All right, we're going to go ahead and start with the recognition of our youth in governance, and this will be for the 2016-2017 class. Supervisor Decker, can you join me in front, please?
Yeah.
Thank you, Chairwoman Brunig. I'm Teddy Winnett, Director for Kenosha County UW Extension, and we have the honor and privilege of helping support the Youth in Governance program here in Kenosha County. Tonight is our 10th group of students to participate in Youth in Governance. That is a phenomenal feat and one you should be very proud of. We've had 148 youth participate in our program since we started in 2007. On behalf of the Kenosha County Board of Supervisors and Kenosha County UW Extension, we want to recognize our youth for their outstanding contributions they've made to county government through their participation in the YIG program these last 12 months. The program does continue to have impact, not just locally, but statewide and nationally. Literally, just 2 weeks ago, I got contacted by the Calumet County Administrator wanting to talk to me about how Kenosha County started our program and how we've been able to maintain it, and did I have any advice? And I was full of advice. I had lots of good things to share. And then, lo and behold, I was contacted by the University of Delaware. They have several communities in the state of Delaware that want to involve their youth in government, and somehow they did their Google search and they found Kenosha County, Wisconsin, and they called me and said, "Tell us about your program. We think it looks like a good model we might like to adapt." So you absolutely should be very proud that not only were you an early adopter of including youth in county government, but the country wants, there are counties across the country that want to replicate your success. I want to thank all the parents who are responsible for the young people we'll see tonight. It's their support and wisdom and guidance that help you give our youth the positions they're in tonight. We're now going to recognize our youth members who are completing their terms, so they're going to jump up and form a line right beside me. And as Supervisor Decker said earlier, we didn't practice this part. We didn't, so they should know to stand up. If you're an outgoing Youth and Governance member, I'll be doing this alphabetically. When I call your names, please come forward to receive your certificate from Kim Brunig, Chairwoman of the Kenosha County Board, and Erin Decker, Chairwoman of the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee. Please hold your applause until all youth are recognized. Serving on the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee is Felix Desimoni. Finance and Administration, Henry Dukayowicz. Serving on Legislative Committee, Alexandra Hera. Serving on Legislative Committee, Emma Heller Cavnier. Serving on Public Works and Facilities, Michael Hurdle. Serving on Joint Services, Morgan Kalamaga. Serving on Finance and Administration, Andrew Caroli. Serving on Human Services, Tyler McCarthy. And serving on our Public Works and Facilities Committee, Andrew Romanowski. Our youth unable to join us this evening is Mikkel Miles, Sydney Robson, Hannah Sorensen, Madeline LaCroix, and Katie Pollock. Join me in thanking our Youth and Governance members for their year of service. I'll invite everyone except Tyler and Michael, who are going to stay up there. The rest of you can come and sit down. A tradition with our Youth and Governance is to ask our Youth and Governance members who have served more than one term to share brief remarks about their experience. We have 2 Youth and Governance members this year who have served 2 terms. Michael Hurdle is a senior at Indian Trail Academy, and Tyler McCarthy is a senior at Westosha Central High School.
But is it okay if I say a few words? I didn't clear with you.
Good evening, supervisors, current, future Youth and Governance, and guests. It is an honor that I am able to be here representing Youth and Governance and speaking to you tonight. Youth and Governance is a valuable asset not only to the teens, supervisors, and people that participate in it, but the community as well. Youth and Governance could not be here today if it were not for the supervisors and those who donate their time to the program. The supervisors act as mentors, leaders, and role models for the youth. It is with their guidance that we can fulfill our role to the program and community in the most effective way possible. Now, before I continue, I believe we all owe them a round of applause. I have had the pleasure of serving 2 terms in Youth and Governance, and in my time, I have not only learned the integral role local government plays in our lives, but have also been able to share and spread that information with others. When I go to school the day after a meeting, I would explain to my classmates what an important role local, state, and federal government plays in our lives. Many students know the roles of the last 2, but there are also many who are unaware of the role of local government. And when I explain them this importance, they are shocked. A few have even told me that they have gone home and talked to their parents about this role, and they now vote regularly in local elections too. The community benefits greatly from youth being represented. In local government, the teen perspective is able to shine, and those teens who are able to share their perspective gain knowledge and confidence to spread that information they have learned with others. Government can be confusing and boring to some high school students, but when a fellow classmate shares information they have learned in such a way, a fellow student may not feel that way, but now a way where they're closer to government. So as I stand here before you now, future Youth and Governance, this program is an amazing opportunity for both you and your community, but it'll only be as good as you make it, so make it count. If you put effort into your meetings and into your informing your classmates, the joy and gratitude you receive will be beyond measure. Thank you.
Hello. As you heard, I am Tyler McCarthy, a senior from Westosha Central High School. I will be attending the University of Wisconsin-Madison next fall, and I hope to now, since being part of this program, take classes in political science. This year is my second and sadly final year as a Youth and Governance member. My first year I was on the PDEC committee, and as of this year I was part of the Human Services Committee. For the sake of time, first, I would like to thank everyone who has made this program possible and allowed me to take part in it. When I first heard of this, I had no clue what I was getting into. It was a little daunting at first, having to go to meetings with all these adults in a really official setting. I had no clue what I was doing, but whatever I did, it wasn't scary. I felt welcomed wherever and whenever I was with anyone else in the Kenosha County government. I was treated as a full participant and as an equal. Really, the most surprising thing was how little I knew about my own county. Even though I had thought I knew everything, I did not. This was truly one of the best learning experiences of my life. From learning about county government itself to my own home, I'm incredibly grateful. So thank you to everyone who keeps this program going each year, and I hope that there are many more successful years. To end, I would like to congratulate the incoming members. I'm sure you are in some mix of excitement and nervousness, and soon enough you'll realize that you're scared of nothing. So take advantage of this opportunity, and don't be afraid to ask questions or speak your mind. Congratulations and good luck.
Good job. Thanks, guys. We will now swear in through the appointment ceremony for our new youth and governance members. As in the past years, there continues to be tremendous interest in Kenosha County government and in our youth and governance program. This year, we received 260 nominations representing youth from 10 high schools throughout Kenosha County. From those nominations, 39 youth submitted applications, and the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee interviewed 20 youth to recommend 14 names to Chairwoman Brunig. Thank you to members of the PDEC committee for their work. PDEC Chairperson Aaron Decker and Supervisors Skalitsky and Poole served on the interview committee. 2 current youth and governance members, Michael Hurdle and Sydney Robson, also participated in our interviews. We will now appoint our 2017-18 youth and governance members to the Kenosha County Board committees. As I call your names of youth serving on each committee, I'm going to ask the youth to state their name and their high school, their grade, and then they get to name their county board supervisor. They're going to receive their official county pin from Kimberly Brunig, the chairwoman of the Kenosha County Board, and Aaron Decker, chairwoman of the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee. Please hold your applause until all youth are recognized. We've practiced this, so they're going to get themselves all situated up front, and then parents, that's the time to come forward and take all the photos you'd like. It is that photo moment. Serving on our Finance and Administration Committee and our mentor role is Supervisor Greg Retzloff. Our Youth and Governance members are Jeremy Chin and Emma Heller Cavanier. Here we go.
Okay, so my name is Jeremy Jin, and I am a sophomore at St. Joseph Catholic Academy, and my county board supervisor is Jill Gilmore.
Hi, my name is Emma Heller Cavner. I am a junior at Westosha Central High School, and my county board supervisor is Jill Gilmore. Thank you.
Serving on our Human Services Committee, and our mentor is Supervisor John Poole. Our Youth and Governance members are Megan Setter and Nakaya Hughes.
Hi, my name is Megan Setter. I'm a sophomore at St. Joseph Catholic Academy, and my county board supervisor is Rick Dodge.
My name is Nakaya Hughes. I'm a sophomore at Harborside Academy, and my county board supervisor is William Grady.
On our Joint Services Committee, the mentor is Jenny Tunkeys, And our Youth and Governance members are Jamal Hansen and Janaki Rowal.
Hello, my name is Jamal Hansen. I'm a sophomore at Tremper High School, and my county board supervisor is Jill Gilmore.
Hi, my name is Janaki Rawal, and I'm a sophomore at Indian Trail High School and Academy, and my county board supervisor is Mr. John Franco.
For Judiciary and Law Committee, our mentor is Supervisor Mike Skalitsky, and our Youth and Governance members are Morgan Kalamaga and Anna DeLisi.
My name is Morgan Kalamaga. I'm a junior at Lakeview Technology Academy, and my county board supervisor is Jeff Wambold.
Hi, my name is Anna DeLisi, and I'm a sophomore at Westosha Central High School, and my county supervisor is Kimberly Brunig.
On the Legislative Committee, our mentor is Supervisor John Franco, and our Youth and Governance members are Isabella Ricker and Aubriana Medke.
My name is Isabella Ricker. I am a sophomore at Tremper High School, and my supervisor is Leah Blau.
My name is Aubriana Medke. I am a sophomore at Indian Trail High School, and my county board supervisor is John Franco.
For the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, the mentor is Supervisor Jill Gilmore, and our Youth and Governance members are Jonathan Filiatro and Julia Arturi.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Filiatro. I'm from Westosha Central High School, which I'm a junior at, and my county board supervisor is John Poole.
Hi, my name is Julia Arturi. I am a sophomore at Christian Life, and my county board supervisor is Greg Redsloth.
For our Public Works and Facilities Committee, our mentor is Supervisor Jeff Wambold. Our Youth and Governance members are Alexander Dawson and Aidan Moore.
Hi, my name is Alexander Dawson. I'm a junior at Westosha Central High School, and my county board supervisor is Michael Skalitsky.
Hi, my name is Aidan Moore. I'm a sophomore at St. Joseph Catholic Academy, and my county board supervisor is Michael Gable.
Join me in congratulating these outstanding Kenosha County young people. Now stay up there for this photo opportunity, and big smiles, everyone. Parents, cameras. We truly look forward to the contributions of these youth, and as we've said to them several times this evening, I'll remind them yet again, you will get out of this experience what you put into it, so do make it a great year. And lastly, I need to acknowledge the Kenosha County Board. Without your continued support for youth and governance, we wouldn't be here tonight celebrating 10 years. We have to thank you for your amazing leadership and the opportunities that you provide for these young people. It's a rare, rare opportunity, and my greatest joy comes when I have youth who come back to me 2, 3, 4 years later and say, wow, I can't believe how much I gained as a result of being on Youth in Governance and how much it did for me in my college career or my aspirations career-wise. That's the greatest, just the absolute greatest joy we could have. And so for that, I thank you. You may be seated.
I want to thank everyone that has participated in this program. I can't believe it's been 10 years since we have started this. I remember when we first started our program, there was an article in the paper that was written by one of the editors of the Kenosha newspaper, and I'm sure that they would disagree with their article that they wrote at this time, but he said that it was a bad idea to have youth speaking. So I am very excited to have you here as we celebrate our 10th anniversary. Thank you, everyone. At this time, we're going to go forward with our agenda, so if anyone wants to leave, you are certainly welcome to leave at this time. Okay, we're going to move on with citizens' comments. If there are any citizens to speak, please step to the podium. You'll have 5 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address for the record.
Lisa Dretsky, 815 115th Street, Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, 53158. I'm Lisa Dretsky again. I'm the Executive Director at Kemper Center Incorporated. I just came by to kind of talk about some of the stuff I included in your packet today. I provided the 2016 annual report for Kemper Center. So if any of you have any questions regarding the financials or anything that's included in there, please feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to talk to you about it. Also included in the packet, we put an invite to our upcoming fundraiser, which is Art of the Car, and that's coming this fall. If you were interested in registering or just partaking in any of the festivities, again, we'd be happy to sign you up for that or discuss any of the details about that fundraiser that's coming up. Another fun announcement that I'd like to make is that our very first Twilight Jazz of the season is going to be west of I-94 at Old Settlers Park this year. It's a really big change for us. We're really excited to hold it over there. That way we can kind of bring Kemper out to the west side of the Kenosha County, which is really exciting. And then one last note that I have to include is that some of you might not already have been informed yet, but we are currently being sued by Annette Flynn by Sophisticatering. They are suing us, stating that we are part of Kenosha County Parks and not our own private entity. We have a legal representation, but if you guys have any questions at all about it, I'm happy to talk to you about any of the details that I can share, and just do not hesitate to call. I'm happy to share any of that. And also have a good rest of your evening.
Thank you. Any other citizen comments? Citizen comments? Any other citizen comments? Seeing none, citizen comments are closed. We'll move on to supervisor reports. And I see no supervisor reports. Oh, there we go. Supervisor Alverman, you have the floor.
I didn't want to disappoint. I just have one thing. I know I gave my major report last week. We are on schedule for the move at Brookside tomorrow. Been telling everyone about that, and Ray told me this evening that we went from heating everything to air conditioning everything today to get everybody ready. So tomorrow is the big day. One other item, I've been bragging about all our bids that we've received. One was too good to be true, and everyone was a little nervous, and it was a courtroom remodeling that came in right under $100,000 when our estimates were at about $250 for those. And as of a deadline that we gave them, even though we went and toured some of their work, we gave them to verify insurance and final commitments, and they withdrew their bid today. So we are looking at the second and third bidders for that project. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Dodge, you have the floor.
Yes, I attended the Veterans Service Commission meeting on Tuesday, May 9th, and for all of our county veterans, I present this report. The Veterans Service Office will be in Silver Lake Village Town Hall the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month. This is to better serve our veterans in the western end of our county. Also, I applaud Ollie Nelson, the Veterans Service Director, for coordinating, and with the Sheriff's Department's approval, the inclusion of a checkoff box on a form for veterans when they are incarcerated. Upon their release, the jail chaplain will explain the benefits available to them and take them to the Veterans Service Office to make sure that they get all of those benefits to which they are eligible to receive. And on Saturday, June 24th, the Veterans Service Office is hosting a wills and power of attorney clinic from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., assisting veterans and their eligible dependents. Some conditions apply. If you have any questions, call the office for more information. And also a homeless veterans stand-down / veterans celebration will be November 4th from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. State Secretary Daniel J. Zimmerman will be the keynote speaker for that event. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Dodge. Supervisor Retzloff, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to bring up, in our Finance Committee, we had CABA was there going through our various loan funds that we have and talking about the great work that they've done in getting employers in this area, and you can see the report that was on your desk. A couple concerns that I've had just reading various things is, and you can see this nationally, is job availability. There's a lot more jobs in there and for people that need to be trained for them. I think that will be a concern for us, and CABA and others are addressing that. The one big, huge animal that sits out there that I was reading more information on is the cost of health insurance in our area. And I'm not just talking about the county's plan. I'm talking about the whole southeast Wisconsin. Things that I've read where our costs are as much as 40% more than the national average. To me, that's a concern. And I think we need to address this at one point, whether it be this county board or even the state legislatures with resolutions. This does not appear to be getting better. If I was an employer looking to move here, that would be a concern to me. That's got to be one element of their decision making. So just as a word of advice, I really think somehow we need to address these costs that are costing our employers with their health insurance. So thank you, Madam Chair. That's all I have.
Thank you, Supervisor Retzloff. Supervisor Hellman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thank you to our outgoing Director of Extension, Teddy Winnett. Most of you, when you come to this work, are fully grown, mature adults. I'd like to have thought roughly a decade ago I was, I can fully confess and say that I was not. And so when you're not, you have to find people who have wise counsel and brave souls to administer it, and she's one such person. So I'm saying that because she will be sorely missed by myself. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hallman. Seeing no other lights, we will close supervisor reports and move on.
New business, ordinance 1 from the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Beaver revocable trust owner, Kevin Beaver, owner agent, request a rezoning from A1 Agricultural Preservation District to A2 General Agricultural District, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 1.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
This property is located on the east side of 280th Avenue, approximately 1,300 feet north of the intersection with County Highway B, which is 31st Street. The rezoning would allow for the farm residents and buildings to be subdivided from the agricultural land. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 2 from the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Beaver Revocable Trust owner, Kevin Beaver, owner agent, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection to general agricultural and open land, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 2, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
This is the same property as in ordinance 1, and it's for a comprehensive plan amendment that would allow for a revision of map 65 of the comprehensive plan from farmland protection to general agricultural and open land. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 3 from the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding George Roberto Trust owner, Carl R. Edenhofer Jr., agent, request a rezoning from A1 Agricultural Preservation District and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District to R1 Rural Residential District and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 3, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
This property is located on the north side of County Highway K, 60th Street, approximately 100 feet west of the intersection with 248th Avenue. The rezoning would allow the rezoning would allow correct district classification of R1 Rural Residential District to comply with the Kenosha County General Zoning and Shoreland Floodplain Zoning Ordinance. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 4 from the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding George Roberto Trust owner, Carl Edenhofer Jr., agent, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection and PEC to rural density residential and PEC, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Galitzi, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 4, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
This property is the same as ordinance number 3. The comprehensive plan amendment would allow a revision of map 65 of the comprehensive plan from farmland preservation and PEC to rural density and residential and PEC. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 5 from the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Karen R. Endenhofer owner, Carl R. Endenhofer Jr. agent, request a rezoning from A1 Agricultural Preservation District and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District to A2 General Agricultural District and C1 Lowland Resource Conservancy District, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 5, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
This property is located on the north side of County Highway K, 60th Street, approximately 570 feet west of the intersection with 248th Avenue. The rezoning would allow correct district classification of A2 General Agricultural District to comply with the Kenosha County General Zoning and Shoreland Floodplain Zoning Ordinance. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 6 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Karen R. Endenhofer, owner, Carl R. Endenhofer, Jr., agent, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection impact to general agricultural and open land impact, Town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 6, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
This property is the same as ordinance 6. The comprehensive plan amendment would allow a revision of map 65 of the comprehensive plan from farmland protection and PEC to general agricultural and open land and PEC. The Town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 7 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Richard J. Schaefer, revocable trust owner, Amanda Arizmendi, agent, requesting a rezoning from A1 Agricultural Preservation District to A1 Agricultural Preservation District and R2 Suburban Single Family Residential District, Town of Paris. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 7, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
This property is located on the south side of County Highway E, 12th Street, approximately 1/2 mile east of the intersection with 138th Avenue. The rezoning would allow a single-family home on 2.5 acres. The Town of Paris recommended approval of the request. The PDEC committee approved the application provisionally as it was scheduled for review and comment by the City of Kenosha as part of the parcel is in the extraterritorial plat jurisdiction of the city. The city's favorable recommendation has been confirmed by county planning staff.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Ordinance 8 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, an ordinance regarding Richard J. Schaefer, revocable trust owner, Amanda Arizmendi, agent, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County, 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection to farmland protection and suburban density residential, Town of Paris. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move ordinance 8, please.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
This property is the same as ordinance 7, and the comprehensive plan amendment would allow a revision of map 65 of the comprehensive plan from farmland protection to farmland protection and suburban density residential. The Town of Paris recommended approval of the request, and again, the PDEC committee approved the application provisionally as it was scheduled for review and comment by the City of Kenosha as part of the parcel is in the extraterritorial plat jurisdiction of the city, and the city's favorable recommendation has been confirmed by county planning staff.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 1 from the Finance and Administration Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Matthew Fleming to serve as the Director of the Kenosha County Division of Purchasing Services. Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Gens, yes. Dodge, yes. Kubicki, yes. Esposito, yes. Retzloff, yes.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
I would move resolution number 1.
I have a first by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Ron Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
Mr. Fleming is being nominated for the position of the purchasing director. He has good experience. His biography is listed and attached to the resolution. He appeared before the committee and was unanimously endorsed.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 2 from the Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Christine Weicker to the Kenosha County Workforce Development Board. Gable, yes. Hallman, yes. Poole, yes. Berg, yes. Blau, yes. Dodge, yes. Retzloff, yes.
Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 2.
I have a first by Supervisor Gable and a second by Supervisor Hallman. Supervisor Gable.
She appeared before our committee, and it was a unanimous vote to approve her.
Thank you, Supervisor Gable. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 3 from the Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Dr. Deborah Ford to the Kenosha County Workforce Development Board. Gable, yes. Hallman, yes. Poole, yes. Berg, yes. Blau, yes. Dodge, yes. Retzloff, yes.
Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 3.
I have a first by Supervisor Gable and a second by Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Gable.
Dr. Ford is being reappointed, I believe, for the Workforce Development Board.
Anything else? Okay. Supervisor Hallman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm in favor of Dr. Ford being on the Workforce Development Board. However, because she did put her name out there to seek another position elsewhere, it got me thinking about the purpose of the Workforce Development Board, and it actually would make much more sense for our purposes because the Workforce Development Board is designed to line up education and workforce needs and make sure those two are in sync with one another. It makes much more sense for the provost, which would be the head of academic affairs, to be sitting there and not necessarily the chancellor. Also, when we have these situations where the chancellor changes every 6-7 years, you know, it takes a while before there is a new chancellor, and then once there is officially a new chancellor, then they replace the provost. So it actually might be wiser in the future for it to be the head of academic affairs and not the chancellor. But that could be up for debate. Thank you.
So you're not doing anything?
No, I'm just saying next time we should, you know, think about this for future reference. It should be somebody else.
All right. Thank you, Supervisor Hallman. Seeing no other lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 4 from the Human Service Committee, a resolution to approve the appointment of Nicholas Galick to the Kenosha County Workforce Development Board. Gable, yes. Hallman, yes. Poole, yes. Berg, yes. Blau, yes. Dodge, yes. Retzloff, yes.
Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 4.
I have a first by Supervisor Gable and a second by Supervisor Blau. Supervisor Gable.
This is to appoint Nicholas Getch to the Kenosha Workforce and Development Board. It was unanimous. Yeah, okay. Everybody approved it?
Is this a reappointment?
No. New appointment.
Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 5 from the Human Service and Legislative Committees, a resolution calling on the Wisconsin State Legislature to allocate funds that would increase the number of psychiatrists and psychiatric advanced nurse practitioners practicing in Wisconsin. Human Service, Gable, yes. Hallman, yes. Poole, yes. Berg, yes. Blau, yes. Dodge, yes. Retzloff, yes. Legislative, Boyd Frederick, yes. Hallman, yes. Skolitsky, I believe is a yes. It's kind of mixed up here, so if I'm wrong, let me know. Poole, excused. Franco, excused. Berg, yes. And Decker, yes.
Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
I move Resolution 5.
I have a first by Supervisor Gable and a second by Supervisor Boyd Frederick. Supervisor Gable.
Yeah, this is kind of a feel-good resolution to ask the state to help us get the psychiatrists and psychiatric help we need and the nurse practitioners.
Thank you, Supervisor Gable. Supervisor Gens, you have the floor.
I'm not feeling kind of good about that. So I just want you to know that it's not feel good to me. We have issues on mental health that need to be addressed, and this is one of the steps that we're putting forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Gens. Supervisor Hallman, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I second what my colleague has just said. I'm in favor of this resolution, but I also want to make people aware that at WCA, I quizzed the state's, I believe he's the one of our economic analysts that looks at labor trends. They have done research saying what areas of Wisconsin had nursing shortages and were very instrumental in helping those counties in those areas make those changes to accommodate the needs of their population. I asked, why that had not been done around the issue of psychiatry and mental health for the entire state. And he kind of stumbled over his words, and I had several county supervisors from other corners of the state coming up to me saying, that's a good idea. So this is extraordinarily important. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor Hellman. Seeing no other lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 6 from the Human Services and Legislative Committees, a resolution calling on the Wisconsin State Legislature to retain funding for Aging and Disability Resource Centers Dementia Care Specialist. Legislative, Boyd Frederick, yes. Hallman, yes. Skalitsky, yes. Poole, excused. Franco, excused. Berg, yes. Decker, yes. Human Service, Gable, yes. Hallman, yes. Poole, yes. Berg, yes. Blau, yes. Dodge, yes. Retzloff, yes.
Supervisor Gable, you have the floor.
I move the resolution.
I have a first by Supervisor Gable and a second by Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Gable.
This is another resolution to send to the Assembly and the Senate, telling them that we feel that we need that legislation to retain help for the Disability Resource and Center Dementia Care Specialists.
Anything else? Nope. Okay. Thank you, Supervisor Gable. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 7 from the Finance and Administration and Legislative Committees, a resolution in support of the preservation of mortgage interest and property tax deductions. Legislative, Boyd Frederick, no. Hallman, yes. Berg, yes. Decker, no. Franco, excused. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, excused. Finance and Administration, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Esposito, yes. Retzloff, yes. Dodge, yes. Gens, yes. Kubicki, yes.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
I would move resolution number 7.
I have a first by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Boyd Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
All right, thank you. If you recall at the last meeting, resolution number 8 was before this board for endorsement. Resolution number 8 directly affects Kenosha County as we issue tax exempt municipal bonds which assist us. I know that. Yeah. There was a suggestion at the I know we're on number 8, but I'm getting to why number 7 was placed in a separate resolution. Resolution number 8, I see, dealt with the municipal bonds. It was suggested by Supervisor Bostrom that 8 be amended, and the committee, with the urging the Congress to preserve the mortgage interest and property tax deductions. We didn't feel that issue was germane or consistent with the thrust of resolution number 8, and therefore we carved out resolution number 7 for your consideration. So that's how resolution number 7 becomes before you this evening, as opposed to having it part of number 8. The idea was suggested by Supervisor Bostrom. He prepared it, and it was referred to the Finance Committee and the Legislative Committee. The Finance Committee endorsed it, requesting the Congress in any kind of reform of the tax code to preserve the mortgage interest and property tax deductions.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. I would also like to make the correction that Supervisor Boyd Frederick voted against this in committee, so this will be seconded by Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Boyd Frederick, you have the floor.
Yes. The reason I voted no is when I was doing research on this particular item is there's a lot of innuendo what's out there, what could be done by the present administration, what could be cut when it comes to taxes. And the only thing that has been set in stone is the tax rates. And when it comes to municipal bonds, that has also been moved beyond just the talking stage. What I'd like to do is see something more concrete than just innuendo that this could happen, and see what an exact proposal is from one of the congressmen or from the administration before saying that we are against this, to see what exactly is their proposal on when it comes to mortgage and taxes. It could be something different. It could be where the tax rates play into how much you get back when it comes to your mortgage. That's why I voted no, and want to take a look and see until there's something concrete that we actually can read, look at and study and know what we're voting on completely.
Thank you, Supervisor Frederick. Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
I agree with Supervisor Boyd Frederick. We don't know what's going to happen in DC regarding taxes. We don't know if the proposal is to lower the tax rates, which if they lower them enough, that's worth losing our mortgage interest and property tax deductions. It also, I know they're pushing simplifying the tax code. I would much prefer to be able to do my own taxes and not have to spend over $300 a year to prepare my taxes. I'm willing to bet if I actually sat down and did the math, the money I save with my mortgage deduction is probably less than the money I actually pay to get my taxes prepared. So I think this is kind of putting the cart before the horse. I know that the realtors, lobbyists are pushing hard for this because, well, realtors like to sell homes, and that's one of their talking points when they sell homes. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Supervisor Berg, you have the floor.
I will take the bet. In terms of, I had somebody do the research this year doing our taxes. If we did not have the mortgage deduction, we would have had about a $900 less tax return. So unless rates do change, if they just go across the board and cut it out, there will actually be a reduction in your tax return.
Thank you, Supervisor Berg. Supervisor Retzloff, you have the floor.
Yes, just quickly, Madam Chair. A couple things. One, when we discussed this, you got to remember that the people that this really applies to is the people that itemize their taxes, which is 30% of their tax returns. People that file Schedule A's is 30% of all tax return people. So that's one issue. Another issue, though, is when you look at property taxes, remember, we are the 4th highest property tax state in the country. So to us and our constituents, having that eliminated is significant, regardless of what may happen to the income tax piece to that. Other states won't care about this because they have very low to none property taxes. But just remember, we are the 4th highest property taxes in the country. At least it was. It still could be in the top 10 if it's not quite 4. But that's my feelings. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Supervisor Retzloff. Seeing no other lights, roll call has been requested. That would be yes if you're in favor of the resolution, no if you are not in favor of the resolution. And the resolution passes.
Resolution 8 from the Finance and Administration and Legislative Committees, a resolution in support of the preservation of tax-exempt financing. Finance, Rose, yes. Ron Frederick, yes. Esposito, yes. Retzloff, yes. Dodge, yes. Gentz, yes. Kubicki, yes. Legislative, Boyd Frederick, yes. Hallman, yes. Berg, yes. Decker, yes. Franco, excused. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, no vote.
Supervisor Rose, you have the floor.
Move resolution number 8.
I have a first by Supervisor Rose and a second by Supervisor Boyd Frederick. Supervisor Rose.
This resolution urges the Congress to retain and preserve the tax-exempt financing status of tax-exempt municipal bonds. This would directly affect Kenosha County and other municipalities and states if these types of tax-exempt bonds were eliminated. This issue has come up from time to time under different administrations, but it has never passed. That has been talked about in Washington currently, and we wanted to jumpstart our opposition to elimination of that tax-exempt financing status, which would put us in a very difficult position when we are doing capital projects.
Thank you, Supervisor Rose. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 9 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution to appoint David DeVito to the Kenosha County Zoning Board of Adjustments. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move Resolution 9.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
This resolution would reappoint Mr. DeVito to the Kenosha County Board of Adjustments until June 30th, 2020. The PDEC Review Committee the PDEC Committee reviewed the item at their meeting on May 10th, 2017 and recommended approval of the appointment.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 10 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding Beaver Revocable Trust owner, Kevin Beaver owner agent, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection to general agricultural and open land, town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move Resolution 10.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This property is the same as Ordinance 1 and 2. The state requires a resolution from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee and an ordinance from the full county board to amend the comprehensive plan. This resolution would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection to general agricultural and open land. The town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 11 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding George Roberto Trust owner, and Carl R. Edenhofer Jr. agent, request an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection impact to rural density residential impact, town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move Resolution 11.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Gilmore. Supervisor Decker.
Thank you. This property is the same as Ordinance 3 and 4. The state requires a resolution from the Planning and Development and Extension Education Committee and an ordinance from the full county board to amend the comprehensive plan. This resolution would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection and PEC to rural density residential and PEC. The town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 12 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding Karen R. Edenhofer owner, Carl R. Edenhofer Jr. agent, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection impact to general agriculture and open land impact, town of Brighton. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Move Resolution 12.
I have a first by Supervisor Decker and a second by Supervisor Skalitsky. Supervisor Decker.
This property is the same as Ordinance 5 and 6. The state requires a resolution from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee and an ordinance from the full county board to amend the comprehensive plan. This resolution would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection and PEC to general agricultural and open land and PEC. The town of Brighton recommended approval of the request.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Resolution 13 from the Planning, Development, and Extension Education Committee, a resolution regarding Richard J. Schaefer, revocable trust owner, Amanda Arzmendi, agent, requests an amendment to the adopted land use plan map for Kenosha County 2035, map 65 of the comprehensive plan, from farmland protection to farmland protection in suburban density residential, town of Paris. Decker, yes. Poole, excused. Skalitsky, yes. Gilmore, yes. Bostrom, excused.
Supervisor Decker, you have the floor.
Thank you. This property is the same as Ordinances 7 and 8. The state requires a resolution from the Planning and Development and Extension Education Committee and an ordinance from the full county board to amend the comprehensive plan. This resolution would allow an amendment to the Kenosha County Comprehensive Plan for a change from farmland protection to farmland protection and suburban density residential. The town of Paris recommended approval of the request, and again, the PDEC approved this application provisionally as it was scheduled for review and comment by the city of Kenosha as part of the parcel is in the extraterritorial plat jurisdiction of the city. The city's favorable recommendation has been confirmed by county planning staff.
Thank you, Supervisor Decker. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion passes.
Communications from Andy M. Bueller regarding future items scheduled before the Planning Development and Extension Education Committee.
Receive and file.
Claims, Janice I. Nold, personal injury.
Refer to Corporation Council.
DLA Hatch, vehicle damage.
Refer to Corporation Council.
Approval of the May 2nd, 2017 minutes by Supervisor Blau.
Supervisor Blau, you have the floor.
I move to approve the May 2nd, 2017 minutes.
I have a first by Supervisor Blau and a second by Supervisor Hallman. Seeing no lights, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Minutes are approved. I have a motion to adjourn from Supervisor Krabicki and a second by Supervisor Wamble. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you.